My name's Margot Bowman. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and director. I work across moving image, animation, interactive and creative direction. I think I started getting interested in creativity and the arts when I was really young. I'm dyslexic like lots of other people in this industry are, and I think I found it easier to communicate with colour and pictures than through words and numbers, so that was really where I guess my interest started, but it's been a long road, so yeah, there isn't really a very specific beginning. I'm definitely interested in working in lots of different mediums, and I think that it's not necessarily about, sometimes it's when you can make anything, it's hard to make a decision, but that's not often the position that I'm in. And for me, really choosing the medium is about the amount of time that we've got, the amount of money that we've got, and I feel like when you have some of those boxes around what you're doing, it's really good. You can really be expressive and creative within those defined parameters. And also sometimes it's just what do you feel like making, or what are the people around you making? I think for me it's very much about wanting to connect with an audience and think about what's the thing that's going to work for them best, and yeah, just building it from there. Working in fashion is really interesting for me because I think it's always been the thing that really drew me into kind of creativity, in the sense that clothing is non-verbal communication, and I'll always love clothes and I love expressing myself through what I'm wearing. I think the difference really is about time. When you make a piece of clothing, it's kind of permanent, and it's very much a collaboration between you and the person that's wearing it. Whereas traditional or a graphic design or art direction kind of tends to exist without that person really supporting it. So for me, that's the really biggest difference, is the level of engagement that the people that you make the work for have in the work. So at the moment, I'm working on lots of projects with Boiler Room. That's really exciting. We're doing a big project around UK Garage, which is going to be amazing, and a really cool project with AI, which I'm really excited about. I'm also doing some creative direction for a couple of other bands, so I'm doing lots of music work at the moment, which is great because I love music, and it's just nice to work in an industry with people who feel the same way about the world as you do. I hadn't really used stock imagery before OFFF, and it was really interesting collaborating with the team at Adobe and seeing how I could use Adobe stock as part of my process, because with my work, so much of it is collage anyway, that what I'll end up doing for a project is kind of building up my own stock library of images I've taken or friends have taken, or that's kind of how we do it. So it was really interesting to have access to the Adobe stock library and see how using stock and how integrated it is with all the other software means that you can be really creative with it. I think what's good about Adobe stock is that it gives you a really wide range of tools, and with those tools you can make and do whatever you need and want to create. I mean, I've just spent so much time in Illustrator, it's actually insane. The amount of hours of my life I've spent in front of an Illustrator file is crazy. So I've got a soft spot. I love After Effects as well. I think it's such an amazing piece of software. It's so precise and you can do so much in it, and it's something that I've come to in the last 4 years, and I just feel every time I open it up, I'm able to just push it and make something really new and exciting, and yeah, it's my favorite. I love printmaking, so when I did my River Island collection, I did all of that in Illustrator, and After Effects I use for filmmaking and when I'm making GIFs, so that's really, really great for that, and I love that I can just bring everything in and be quite creative. I think that it's got a lot of rigor and structure inside it, but I always find the precision and the technology actually enables me to make new things. I think my tip, if you're up and coming, is just keep going. It's such a long road. We're all going to be doing this till we are very old, and I think that success is something that happens. I think if you're just out in the world and you have the freedom and the time and the ability to express yourself in any capability, that is success. And I think it's so important to just focus on making good work and being with good people. Your generation, the people that you're around, they're the ones, you're all going to come up together and you're going to make something amazing happen together. So be with your community and support each other, because that's the most powerful thing that you have. At OFFF London, I was talking about this idea of creativity making worlds, and how for me the way that we do that is that we take imagined ideas and we bring them out into the real world. And every time you do this, you change reality a little bit. But the best and most effective way to do that is by combining your ideas, your fantasy ideas, with building blocks from the real world. And it's this approach that really means that people can kind of go to a new place with you. So I think using things that are recognizable and combining them with things that are really unfamiliar means that people feel safe to go to an imagined place, and that's what it's all about.